The shareholder vote is coming up shortly. June 13th is the actual cutoff, I do believe, and there are some very big questions. Of course, Tesla wants to know, should they move their headquarters to Austin, and should Elon be allowed to collect his back pay as it was agreed upon so many years ago? That's what we're going to try and figure out, and also just the general mood around it, and will he leave if he doesn't get his way? Let's find out. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So I'm joined, as I sometimes am, by the amazing Randy Kirk, best-selling author, entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, hopefully serial just that. We shall find out, hopefully never. But
I
Randy,
never did, by the way. I never did sell any cereal.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
So Randy, you've heard about the vote coming up. My big question is, do you believe, so first of all, they want to move from Delaware to Texas. Why do you think that is? And do you think they've made the case strongly enough?
I haven't really seen a whole lot of effort going into making that case. I think that it's probably a good decision. I think it's somewhat emotionally based on expectations of what future courts might do in Delaware, which may or may not be true, as opposed to going into a state where there's almost no legal history. That you don't have any there hasn't been a lot of case law on corporations in Texas, so there's not a lot of ways to understand how Texas might go other than the conservative nature of the state. There's no question there's going to be a higher tax burden from the state of Texas than there is in Delaware. So I'm not like, oh boy, let's absolutely do it. Although I do have the same emotionally charged reason of getting away from this horrible judge. I spent 3 years at UCLA Law School. I did not practice a day. But in 3 years of law school, I never saw a case that was more poorly founded. Just everything about it, from the opening sentence to the closing conclusion, was the opposite of anything I would expect from a qualified judge.
I would agree with a lot of that. One reason I've heard argued is we want to get away from this activist judge. We want to get away from this business unfriendly state. Delaware is not a business unfriendly state. But it's hard to argue that this judge is not allowing emotion to rule the day. And I believe it was so egregious in the written findings that it would be very likely to be overturned on appeal. If this is not overturned on appeal, Delaware may see an exodus. Texas, well, we got to move to Texas. It's business friendly. Is it? Because Tesla still can't sell cars direct. Well, they won't have activist judges. Won't they? A judge is still, at the end of the day, a human being, even though they're lawyers. I know that's hard to believe. But you've got to figure everywhere you go, you're not a lawyer, Randy. You do have a law degree, though.
But I really made that distinction over the years.
You made that distinction.
Please don't call me a lawyer.
Despite my PhD in jurisprudence.
Yes.
I actually knew a guy who had a jurisprudence fetish, but he got off on a technicality. So the thing with it is, you may find an activist judge anywhere.
True.
And Texas isn't just automatically better. There's nothing in the legal framework of the state that just makes it automatically better, or they would already be there. All companies would.
Right.
I did want to share this. I love to bring merchandise to events that I go to. Jan and I made a few of these and handed them out at the event. Things like vote your shares. And another one was an old-timey poster, and it said, vote yes on Prop 3 and 4. And the third one was much sillier, but I don't have a copy of it now. You know what? I'll put it up in post. It is AI generated. It is 3 Elons at a table, and it says 3 Elon Musks. So that's valuable. That's good for the community. Now,
Yes.
His back pay is a bigger question. So let's talk about that. We've got the Tesla board has been urged to reject the largest possible pay package for a CEO in corporate America. Ooh, evil, terrible. It's not. First of all, let's get that out of the way. It's not.
Yes.
The 56 billion number I keep seeing thrown about, that is not what it is in today's dollars because the stock price is lower now.
Yes.
But it was never 56 billion. It was always 2.
Right.
It was 2 billion in accounting money, but not real dollars.
Right.
Alexandra Mertz has said repeatedly, a deal's a deal. People wanted the impossible, and we got it. I don't see how that can be overlooked. That is insane. What we asked him to do was insane, and he did it. So now my question is, first, do you think the vote will pass? And second, what does that outcome mean?
Yeah, so I have almost less information on how the voting is going or will go than I have had in recent months on how the total ship numbers will be for the second quarter. And these are things, that's something that I used to really think I had a handle on. Yeah, the people who seem to be spending the most time trying to figure it out, like Boomer Mama, like Larry Goldberg, are believing that it's going to pass and pass handily. Other than that, I'm sorry that I can't contribute any original reporting in this regard.
So when I talked to Alexandra a few days ago, she was at the takeover in Austria. I'm back in Germany in the Tesla Fix studio. When I talked to her a few days ago, she said there are ways that companies can gauge how the vote is going before it happens. And that tells me the fact that they're advertising to pretty please vote tells me that they are concerned it will not pass. And the bigger concern is the number of shareholders in countries like around Europe and throughout Asia who cannot vote or for whom voting is prohibitively difficult with layer after layer of obstacles in the way for no good reason. So those make it difficult. I think it's tricky. So now we've got that out of the way. The next question is, do you think that he will leave?
Oh,
If the vote is no, will he leave?
okay. Let's drop back just a little bit because this is important, and maybe your extremely smart listeners probably already know this. But the two different votes are going to be counted two different ways. So the vote for the compensation package is based on the one additional vote over 50% of those voting. So this is the easier get. And everybody that I've talked to, Larry and Tesla Boomer Mama and others, AJ, who are looking at this with any depth, feel like getting 50% plus one vote of those voting is not going to be a hard get. On the other side of the coin, the vote for the move from Delaware to Texas requires 50% plus one of all of the eligible votes, which is extremely, anybody that's ever belonged to an HOA, homeowners association, knows even getting 50% of your residences to actually cast a vote is a pain in the absolute rear end. So
Yeah.
this is the bigger issue. All right. So let's now, having said that, let's go back to your question, which is, will Elon Musk leave? I would give that a almost zero, but there's never a zero anything. I would give it as close to zero chance as you can possibly contemplate. Will he be demotivated? Might be a better question. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think Elon is motivated. Okay. All right. 3 levels. Let's go 3 levels. I'm going to go 3 levels on you. All right.
I'm
Number one
ready.
level, will he leave? Almost zero chance. This is something that he's passionate about. It's something that he has put his life's blood into. You don't just walk up and leave because you lose a vote. So, no, he isn't leaving. He's not going anywhere. Number 2 level, okay. Will it change the amount of time, energy, and passion that he puts into the company? Also, very close to zero chance. He wants this stuff done. It's something that he's cared about since he was a teenager. It's something that drives him and motivates him. I've mentioned on my channel a few times, I was out gathering petition signatures at the age of 21 at the Rose Parade when it was so cold that I actually went home and never saw the parade. but I was collecting signatures for Prop 1 in California to get rid of the air pollution in Southern California. So CO2 or not, you can believe what you want. Some people know how I believe, but pollution, yeah, let's get rid of all of the particulates in the air. I think everybody can understand that one. And let's also get sustainable. Let's use the cheapest, best, most sustainable products that we can to energize our world. So no, I don't think it will reduce his enthusiasm, his energy, his positivity, the amount of hours, etc., that he works. Okay, then there's this, kind of the more difficult issue to get inside his brain on, because he has stated, I'm nervous about. He didn't say he wouldn't do it. He says, I'm nervous about adding tremendous amounts of robotics and AGI potential to Tesla if I don't have what I consider to be control or close to control of the board. Enough control to really be able to stop people that are only interested in profits from taking over when they see massive potential profits from AGI. And so he's concerned about that. Now, if he loses the vote, will he in fact not bring potential products or potential capabilities to Tesla that he might otherwise have brought? Open question.
Okay. Also worth noting that I've seen a lot of people say, well, even $2 billion is too much to pay someone. It's way more than other CEOs who had no skin in the game. If we look at Mary Barra's proposed compensation plan, the investor something ISS, interesting acronym, has said vote against her next pay package because in order for her to get her $40 million or something, all she needs to do is hit targets that are lower than what they hit in 2023. That's a crazy deal. I would assume that that's just a guaranteed check. Shareholders have been encouraged to vote against it. The $2 billion, which is just, again, paper money, there are quarters when Tesla's profits exceed $2 billion. So in that regard, it's not as much money as you might think. I will share that one here real quick because it is, this is December net income, $8 billion. Last quarter, $1 billion. So the numbers are big. The numbers are big. And I would agree that he's not going anywhere. He has said, well, I'll take AI and robotics out of the company. I don't know if that's believable. AI is already largely outside the company, apart from autonomy and Optimus. And Optimus is already so deeply entrenched into the company, you can't just take it and leave. You would have to, split that division, and then you and I would become shareholders in that as well. Maybe they could take that private and cash us out, but they would have to put that to a shareholder vote, and I think a lot of the shareholders would say no.
So,
no,
Brian, help me out on that. I might be wrong, but maybe you're wrong. Did he ever said he would take it out?
I saw a tweet that certainly looked to confirm it, a post on X, if you will, within the last week, but I have been on the road, so I'm not sure. I have found something, but it's not great. This is electric. This is Fred Lambert, who is not the most reasonable voice.
No.
And he has said, the headline, Elon confirms his threat, give me 25% or you don't get AI and robotics, the products of the company, after making clear that the company is worthless without those. So let's scroll down and see if we can find Tesla economics. And by the way, Elon hates it when you steal stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody steals more egregiously than Tesla economics. He will take your content and post it as his own. It is ridiculous. There are problems at X, and this is one of them. If Elon gets 25% voting power, Tesla is reincorporated in Texas, and compensation is approved, then AI and robotics stays within Tesla, and the company can march forward to become the largest one. To which Elon said, yes.
Okay, so that is the quote I'm talking about. So you notice that is stated in the positive, okay, which Elon agrees with. So if you,
I see. I see.
Okay, but
he's saying X, Y, and Z happens, it will become large, and he says large, yes.
But he doesn't say. But he doesn't. Nothing in that says the opposite. So he doesn't.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. And I think I'll take it a step further and say that claim didn't make sense in the first
in
place.
the first
I
place.
don't see Elon wanting to do that. Okay. So that is good. I would have one more little tidbit to share here. This one's a little less exciting. This one is Tesla has quietly dropped its delivery goal of 20 million vehicles a year. And I think you and I have been talking about that enough to know where we stand. We
Yes.
saw that there was a ever narrowing path to 20 million.
Right.
But when Mexico was put on hold and additional factories were not announced and groundbreaking didn't take place in Berlin, we saw the light at the end of that tunnel
Right.
extinguished for
Right.
budgetary reasons. So it's unfortunate in one regard. Look, I said I was going to make 1,000 steamships, but steam is done. We're on to the next thing. So don't be mad that I'm stopping making steamships. I'm still going to make steamships because the other ships aren't for everyone yet, but they will be. And when they are, we will probably stop making steamships too.
Yeah.
So there are plenty of reasons why. A lot of people don't understand. I've seen people say, I just want them to make cars. And I say, if you want them to be just a car company, you should sell because
Yep.
it's way too high of a share price. The value is
Yes.
not correct for
I
a
think I quoted
just
you on
car
that.
company. Did you? Oh,
I
wow.
think so. Yeah.
That's great. People are starting to recognize my genius,
Yes.
including
yes,
you. That's amazing.
Yes. Well,
Um,
well, your mother told me, so that's how it got started.
yes, I've been promoted to savant. So it's nice having that at the end of my previous title, but not surprising. So guys, in the comments, what do we miss? What do we misunderstand? Do you think Elon will leave if his compensation plan isn't approved? Do you think the stock is going up or down if the vote is approved or disapproved? I've seen a lot of hot comments either way. I think just having some certainty will calm investors' nerves, but I never make stock predictions. The only prediction I've ever made is that for me, Tesla would outperform the S&P 500 over a 10-year horizon, and for me, it has so far. So, yeah, let us know in the comments what you think. Like, subscribe, do the usual. I want to say a huge thanks to my patrons and subscribers on X and YouTube channel members, without whom this whole thing wouldn't happen. So thank you guys so much. And everybody else, stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots over on Randy Kirk's channel, where I am known to appear from time to time.